Hey, welcome to HR Happy Hour Work Break. You are here with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey, Trish McFarland, how are you? It's early.
I know, I'm taking a break early. Do you want to know why? It's
You're
because
sick of it all and you just want to be over with it.
I've been working so hard that I need a break early in the day. Don't you ever have
I can attest to that. There was a late night phone call where we were working quite late last night on something, which was good. I'm glad we were, but yeah, it was kind of sick when we were finished up what we were talking about. It's like, oh my God, you realize what time it is? Yeah, that was
Yeah,
weird.
I didn't check it was like 10 o'clock at night my time, 11 yours, right? So
it's a good thing I have no life. So
maybe we should have if we do that, we'll have a work break in the middle of the night for all of our friends in Asia Pacific.
Yeah, we should. That's an interesting thought. Yeah. Let's maybe do an impromptu evening work break. Yeah. Yeah. Working too hard break. That is a cool cop. That's the guy from Stitch, Lilo. Which one? That's Stitch. Okay.
Stitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have all sorts of fun things. Also, I just noticed I have my ring on. Do you like my ring?
It's very nice.
I found it. It's made of rubber bands, and my daughter must have made it for me when she was probably 6 or 7 years old, and I found it today, and I was like, oh, I found all these little things that Carly made. Look at this. It's like a little pencil hugger.
Oh, that's cool.
He can hug your pencil.
I remember the troll things you used to stick at the end of the pencil, right? And then you'd rub the pencil and the hair would all explode. And I just say this too. Once again, this is early for us to do this show, and you pinged me let's go right now.
We're doing it.
I was going to put on a proper shirt. This is 2 days in a row. I'm wearing a sleeveless shirt. And I look like, I don't know, I look like I should be taking out the trash or collecting it maybe in the neighborhood.
Feel like this is how we're going to get you loosened up, right? I'm going to just spring it on you. You don't know when the work break's happening.
I still have more.
So spontaneous, Steve.
I still have some more new clothes to wear, and they're hanging up in the closet there. And I didn't even put it on. So there we go.
All right. Well, listen, so I don't have a whole lot. I've literally
just wanted to take a break. I have something that's kind of interesting. I have a couple things.
Okay, tell me.
I'm trying to decide which one I think is most interesting. Maybe we'll get to both because maybe they're neither interesting enough to talk for very long.
Okay.
There is a petition, Trish, like one of those kind of moveon.org kinds of things where people kind of go online and try to make some sort of social change happening. There's a petition to rename the city of Columbus of Ohio. In Ohio, the great state of Ohio. Have you heard about this?
I have not heard about that, but there is, I think, something similar for St. Louis.
Okay.
As well.
So this particular petition that I found, the proposed new name of the city, Trish, for Columbus, Ohio, and I'm in favor of this, Flavortown.
Oh, like diners, drive-ins, and dives.
After native son Guy Fieri. Apparently he's from Columbus. I did not know that. I always thought he was a Vegas guy, but yes. So, and I'm a Guy Fieri fan. We've talked on the show. We've watched a lot. I watch a lot of cooking shows. We've been over the years in different cities. You'll look up a diners, drives, and dives spot. Maybe we can visit. We've had some great meals around different cities at those types of places. I like his place in Vegas. I know it's so over the top, like the burgers stacked with bacon and macaroni and cheese and something else and like a Bloody Mary that's got 17 kind of condiments attached to it on a spike that's in it. And I don't care. It's way over the top. I love it. I'm a fan. I'm in favor of Flavortown. There it is. I said it.
I don't think I'd like to live in Flavortown. I will tell you, I've never been to one of his actual restaurants, but I definitely, when I've traveled over the years since the show started, I look up and see where the episodes were in that particular city, and I've never had a bad experience. Like they've always been the best little dives in the whole world. So it's a good thing. Wow, Flavortown. Yeah,
I think they'd sell a lot of swag too if they actually changed the name. Like all of a sudden, everybody would buy T-shirts and signs.
For sure,
I think it'd be pretty cool. I'd like to live in Flavortown.
That is cool. Hey, listen, I do have something for you. Ask me what I watched last night.
Oh yes, I hope it's what I hope. Did you potentially watch The King of Kong: A Fistful of Quarters?
I did.
Oh wow! Tell me what you thought.
Okay, I love documentaries, so I loved it. I don't want to give anything away because I really do think people would enjoy watching it. So if you haven't watched that King of Kong do it, about, Donkey Kong. But what was interesting to me is that, number one, the like reigning champion guy, I hate him.
Yeah, he was the villain.
I don't even use that word very often. I hate him. Like,
wow,
I don't care who beat him. I wanted somebody to beat him. I was just like, and I'm not going to give anything away whether they did or did not. But yeah, I did not care for him. What was interesting to me, though, is that, we're really embedded in this HR community, and there can be some, characters, some back and forth things occasionally, and people that are not always on the up and up. And in video game land, it's the same way. So that was kind of interesting, too, to see kind of how people aligned in the video game world. I had no idea it was such a thing of vintage video game players. So yeah, really interesting.
Yeah, it's funny when you because there's so many little hyper niches, right? Of things that people are interested in, and everybody's got their thing, and that's great, and that's really cool. But when that's not your thing, or you're not familiar with it, and all of a sudden you get this really in close look at this niche community of people who are super invested in Donkey Kong and Pac-Man and all those games. It's interesting. Like, I don't think it's weird at all. Like, I think it's interesting, and because the things we're all obsessed with something. We're all really into something, and our thing is probably weird to a lot of other people too, right? So I never get judgy about that stuff. I just find it kind of curious and interesting. Well, cool. I'm glad you watched it. I need to rewatch it. I did not watch it again last night. I wanted to, but I petered out after the work call we had. So maybe tonight I'll watch it.
Just to tell people,
going a little bit better. So
one final comment: you can rent it for $2.99. However, if you have Stars or you do the Stars trial subscription, it's included. So there's your free viewing of King of Kong.
It's definitely worth it. Like it's short too. It's just about an hour and 20 minutes too. It's not like it's not like a 17-parter Michael Jordan documentary.
I know, but I hated the main guy so much. Like, there were times where I was like, I need to turn this off. But then I was just like, I liked other people so much that I powered through it. But
yeah. Well, even the trailer is interesting. Like, because you see both the main characters.
Watch the trailer.
Oh yeah. So even watching the trailer is kind of fun.
Yeah, I just went right to it.
Yeah.
So there's that. But you're right. I think it probably made me think a little bit about what we do and how it looks odd, I think, to other people. Not everyone appreciates a love of human resource technology.
Sadly, no.
To believe, I know.
Yeah, it's a niche. It's a niche. It
is.
But
I was trying to explain it to my friend Antonio, and he was just like, "I'm not getting it." I'm like, "It's super interesting, really. It is." So anyway. So listen, I do have one thing. I do want to give a shout out. I never do this, but I have a former team member from a company I worked for who is looking for a product or project manager job.
Okay.
I never recommend people because you just never know if they're really going to be good.
Right.
This woman is amazing. Like, literally, if I had the ability to pay her her value, I would snap her up in a second if I had that kind of job. But anyway, so if anyone is looking for a excellent product manager or project manager, she was basically someone that was like my right hand. Couldn't live without her. So anyway, they can tweet me at Trish McFarlane or DM me for info. My last thing is I have a surprise for you for next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Are you telling me there's a surprise and I just have to wait till next Wednesday?
I'm telling you a little bit about what it is, and then you can just anticipate.
I'm looking at my calendar to see what date next Wednesday.
It has nothing to do with that day. It's just that day.
Okay, nothing. Okay.
Nope. But we are going to have a guest, and it's a roving reporter from New York City who's going to give us some updates on what's going on in the world of pandemic in New York City. So.
All right. That's exciting. Next Wednesday. Speaking of pandemic, there was news today. I heard that, kind of in this kind of battling between the states, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut are shots fired at like where I live and other places. They're kind of wanting to do hey, if you come to our state now, you're going to be quarantined. Because remember a couple months ago when New York, New Jersey, Connecticut were kind of the heightened, the center of this. Texas, Florida, maybe some other places too, try to pull that same maneuver, right? If you show up in our state, you're going to be quarantined for 14 days. In fact, I'll even admit something, sadly. Like, I've moved here a while ago. I still haven't gotten around to a lot of the things you're supposed to do when you move. So I'm still driving around with New York license plates on my car. and I still have a New York driver's license. Like I haven't done any of that stuff. And so I was getting a little worried when the pandemic was starting to really boil up in New York, like, you know, someone's going to pull me over or start yelling at me. And in fact, I was in a store. It was a funny story. I was supermarket or something, I bought some stuff, and I probably had some beer or wine or something, right? Probably just some Miller Lights or something. And their policy was they have to check ID on everybody. And many stores have that policy, right? I'm not trying to say I look young enough. So of course I take out my New York State driver's license, hand it to the woman working was a woman, an older lady working at the cashier there. And she looks at it and she goes, New York State, you didn't bring that virus here, did you? Like, and she just dead on. Like, she wasn't kidding. She was like right on. This was probably like April 3rd, right when it was pretty awful in New York. And
he was gonna send you back.
So now they're doing the reverse in the heat on our states, or the state where I live, and a bunch of others. So yeah, it's crazy times. Still really crazy.
Wow. Well, you know what? We're gonna have to end this work break because I see that I'm having my lawn mowed apparently.
I hear some lawn mowing. I did hear a little bit of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right outside my window. That's
okay.
Lovely. So,
well, I'm glad we got this. I'll save my other one for tomorrow.
We will talk tomorrow. Do you have a card?
I still have cards.
The cards, Steve Bose.
But the cards have our logo on them. They're really nice.
All right. Talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching, listening. We love you, and keep sending the ideas. See you tomorrow.